Welcome back to the channel. We're going over a video. First of all, forgive me, my allergies are plaguing me every time I have allergies in video, which is fairly often. Everyone likes to think I'm a Colombian drug lord, which I'm not. I still drive the same beat up truck. But anyways, so the Glock 34. I have an odd love for the Glock 34. Really like it. I've shot it for a long time, but Glock stopped making them. And this is the Gen 5, not the Gen 6. They don't make them in Gen 6, and also I wouldn't shoot Gen 6 anything. That's just me. But I wanted to go over some alternatives. You could always piece together like cheaper parts around the internet, but there are a couple companies that essentially have an alternative, like the same length, although they have some differences. I've been shooting them, kind of test them out, the feel of them, and I wanted to go over that in case you guys are worried you'll never get a 34, or you wanted a 34, but they're hard to find now, whatever it may be. Exactly how hard, I'm not sure. I'm gonna go over essentially what I don't like about these guns, some other aspects and things I do like, just to get in that order, try and be as objective as possible. I'm not comparing the two that I'm going to show. I'm not comparing them directly against each other. Mostly it's going to be kind of the baseline off of the Gen 5 34. I want to give a shout out to the sponsors. They really make it happen. So Handle of Grips, right? Not that one, but that one. Handle of Grips, absolutely love them. Have been using them for quite some time. And also they came out with a gun caffeine. So while you may shake during your first stage because you ingested a ton of black stuff, gun caffeine will keep your gun running. There's colors and bottles and other stuff for lubricants out there. You know what I'm talking about, you weirdo gun tubers, you fucking weirdos. And second sponsor of the channel, HSL Ammunition. Absolutely love them. What's a gun channel without ammo? So if you get a chance, you know what I mean? They're a great place to get from. Absolutely love the company, the people there, and it keeps us running. Reliable and on the not as expensive side, because everything's going up. Just to come out to the range was a hefty fucking fee. So if you could save some money and get something that runs, check out HSL Ammunition. And last sponsor of the channel is Force Systems. This is a pistol video, but should there be something to put on the end of this to make my gun more quieter, then Force Systems is definitely a way to go. One of the ways, they say. So the first one is going to be the Shadow Systems DR920L. With this gun, it's been shooting fine. One thing that I definitely would change about this, which I think they are working on some stuff, is I'm not going to fall into the trap of it's a duty rated trigger. You guys know how much I hate that. I don't like that trigger. That trigger is just, it's kind of a long pull. Then it's just a heavy. I don't like it. If you guys do, I don't know, but I'm not a big fan of it. And when I first got this, it was before the Gen 6. So that's my main thing, and I want to go over some differences in what I do like as well. Is, you know, let's just forget the color. I guess I don't give a shit about color. I like the serrations. The mounting system, essentially, it could fit multiple different styles of dot, and then it just has a shim. I haven't had any problem with that. It's just a plastic kind of shim in back, a spacer, if you will, that you don't even absolutely need. And unlike the Gen 6 Glock, the Gen 6 Glock, where it's, I don't know. That thing's just stupid. But Gen 5, you don't need MOS plate. You don't need any real plate. Thanks, Beeper. You don't need any real plate on there. Shim if you want it. And then, so easy to mount. That's pretty cool. The magwell, just like the Gen 5s, the magwell is pretty forgiving. Not as forgiving as a Gen 5, but it is pretty forgiving. So as reloads, it gives you a little bit of space. And then one thing I do think is cool about it is, I wish they would have done this with Glock, is the back straps that come with the gun. They're different. So essentially it's like, the way it does it is there's a back strap for a Glock, so that Glock grip angle. There's a back strap for neutral, and then there's a back strap for like 1911. So I thought that was pretty cool if you have a preference on that. You know, sometimes tendons when trying to get that crank on a Glock, it's not really forgiving over time, especially when you're getting older like myself. But I do like that. One thing that is different is the gun is slimmer and it takes some getting used to, but it still feels good in the hands, at least my hands. I know that could be very subjective, but the Gen 5 Glock, it's gonna be thicker, but it took a little bit of getting used to, but it's flat, and I like that about Glock. It's pretty flat. You get your hands on it pretty well, so I dig that. The mag release is fine. One thing, unlike Gen 5 Glocks, is it has a very kind of slim slide lock, whatever you want to call it. So a lot of dudes will have trouble with that. That's why you'll see a lot of dudes running like a CAGWorks that goes up, because their grip, they can't get it to where they don't actually ride the slide stop and lock it back and induce malfunctions, kind of things like that. Really, it's pretty straightforward. They have the undercut, which is nice. They just started doing that with Gen 6s. They have the undercut, and they have something here. And usually I don't like any type of undercut on the trigger guard, but this one's, it's kind of subtle to where it's not like a cut and then divot and then it rounds off again or whatever it is. So it's pretty cool. And as far as holster compatibility, any holster that I've thrown it in that I use with Gen 5s, it's pretty much worked. So the price tag on this is going to be more than a Gen 5 for sure. I think by a couple $100. But if you can't get yourself like a Gen 5 34, because it's almost dead now, not dead in the sense that no one shoots it, just they don't make them, then this is something to consider. I haven't had any like malfunctions or weird stuff or anything like that with it. It's pretty much a straightforward gun. As far as compatibility and parts, you won't be able to go out and just get like Gen 3, Gen 4 stuff like that, like as far as messing with the trigger. So you're kind of locked into their stuff for the most part. So that is a downside, and especially like if I wanted to work with this trigger, I'm working with this trigger, not changing out parts. I'm working on polishing it, whatever it may be. So that's kind of a downside. I'm not a fast trigger puller, but it's really a straightforward gun. You're going to be spending a little bit extra, but if you can't find a 34, really want to get into it, especially because of that slide length, for whatever reason, here's one alternative you can jump into. So I dig it. It's not as familiar to me as a Gen 5, but that's kind of one alternative. Besides the trigger, I didn't really notice anything crazy when shooting. It's not this standout gun. Yeah, I don't know if you think it looks a little bit cooler, but it's not life-changing, but it is an alternative to a Gen 5 34 if you're looking for it. It takes Glock mags, no trouble there. It's all right. It's not bad by any means. I can dig it, and if for some reason I really wanted a 34 lane slide and I wanted to stay with something Glock-like, semi the feel, then this is an alternative. So the other one I wanted to go over is Zev. So it's like the OZ9. So gonna go over a couple things I don't necessarily like, just to, that way I'm not a shillbill on the internet, right? So this is with the plastic grip. They also offer an aluminum, but I figure if I'm gonna run anything metal, it's gonna be like a steel frame. This grip, it's not same. It has an undercut, has a little bump right there, undercut. So that's cool. It comes with an undercut. As far as the feel of it, to me, it doesn't feel quite as nice in my hands. It feels a little weird because they got a bit more of a divot. Now, dudes shoot these just fine. Billy Barton, he just absolutely rips with Zev stuff. Aaron over at T1C rips with Zev stuff. So, but that's just me. So that's kind of a subjective thing. So you can take it with a grain of salt if you can get your hands on one before maybe you're kind of diving into buying something. But that's another thing too. Also, the price tag on this is going to be like $1,500 or maybe north of that. So you're really getting into the realm of a lot of other guns you can purchase. The mounting system, this is for RMR. So it's not as versatile as some other ones. That's it for maybe the kinds of things I don't dig about it. Now, here's some things I do like about it. The trigger is not a bad trigger at all. It's definitely closer to something I like. Right? It's, and I think they make a little bit, maybe a few more alternatives as far as the Zev trigger that you can throw in this. Another cool thing, it kind of is like an FCU without the 320 plague as much, is you can take the You could take a different slide. You could throw it on the frame. So it's more compatible. You can kind of turn this into multiple different guns if you want to, as far as slide length, grip length, stuff like that. So I really dig that. The magwell, it's pretty forgiving. Maybe just under the Gen 5. But it is forgiving, because I hate when a Glock clone or something like that comes out and they kind of stick with like the Gen 3, Gen 4 lack of flair that they can put into it. You know, it's a little bit goes a long way as far as that. The mag release, I really like the mag release. It's pretty pronounced. It doesn't interfere with when I am shooting it. I don't accidentally hit it, which I've encountered with some of the Glock ones I've tried over time. I don't accidentally hit it. You can get to it pretty easy. The slide stop, slide lock, that's another thing, is unlike if you were to get a Gen 5 34, it has like the extended little nub on it, and I absolutely hated that thing. So I always switch them out for like a regular 17 or G45 slide stop. This one doesn't interfere with when I'm shooting, if a high grip or anything like that. So, and as far, this is pretty cool too, because the way it's set up, so it's a 34, right? 34s have longer recoil springs. This one doesn't. So it's a little bit, it comes back a little bit faster, whether you like that or not. As far as compatibility, the things I like, it's pretty straightforward, honestly. I really don't pay attention to looks as much. I guess if you think it looks cool, if that's a factor for you, cool. The slide serrations, those are really good as well. Doesn't bite in as much. I would say it's about on par, just a little bit more with like a Gen 5 you can buy. And holster compatibility, going over that, is this boy is a little bit thicker. So I've noticed that with the holsters I run in it, so like my T1C or anything like that, as far as just using a Gen 5, some of them, they are compatible, but so like this one, this carry concealment, I noticed I had to loosen it up, otherwise it would like to stick a little bit when I'm going to draw. So there is some compatibility there, but yeah, that's just it. It shoots well. As far as like how wide it is compared to the 34, it's closer to it than the other guy. But this is an alternative, and especially in a world like, there are a lot of companies that put out, there's a ton of Glock stuff on the market, but a ton of companies you can piece together kind of cheap builds and they'll run and everything like that. But if you're a guy who just wants that instant gratification like most of us do, then this is another alternative to that. Other than that, there's nothing really that kind of stands out or this is the best or anything like that. It's pretty cool. Actually, when I think about it, you might even, they're kind of hard to come by. They're not always stocked or not always ready to go. So it's up to you. If you could find one, then cool. If you can't, then you might have to wait. So those are like the main things. As far as shootability, they both shoot just fine. Anytime you're switching to something a little bit new, a little bit different, you got to get time on it. They both shoot just fine. They have their negatives. So like this one, I don't really like the trigger. This one, I don't like the feel in my hands as much, but it's something you can definitely get used to or work around, or maybe it's just different for you. Maybe you are one of those guys who just prefers a heavier trigger, or one of those guys where it's like, this feels better in my hand. Do either of them completely take the place of a 34? They don't necessarily take the place, but when these start to become hard to find, especially, you know, right, 2 is 1, 1 is none, then these are some alternatives. So pay attention to price tag if you can get your hands on them, because both of these feel different than the Gen 5 and both these feel different than each other. Then that's something to look into and kind of weigh out what you're really looking for in a gun that might replace a 34 while still being as close to a 34 as you can without having to switch to a completely different platform. You know, a jump to this or this is going to be closer to a G34 than it is going to be like if you're just going to switch completely to an M&P or a PDP or something like that. So these are some alternatives. I haven't shot this one in a match. I've shot this one in 1, 2, I can't remember, and then just shooting here on the range and running drills. And this one I actually shot in the VR video that we did. So that's something to consider when you're looking out for it. I don't think you can go wrong, but you need to weigh how much money you want to spend and how they feel for you. So hands-on is definitely a must. Whereas like a Gen 5, if you've ever shot a 17 or a G45, you kind of already know how it's going to feel in your hands. And as far as how it shoots, it's not crazy far off from the alternative. So that's it. I just wanted to go over it. I've always been obsessed with Glocks, and I don't think that will stop, even though I shoot the PDP a lot now. But that's just something to throw out there. We've been meaning to make this video for a while, and after shooting those, and then obviously I shoot this a ton, wanted to put it out there. So, bye.
Belt.